So today I'm going to be making a video playing Tower of Hell and just kind of talking about what's been going on with me. Not that, anybody cares. I don't know. I feel like making a video just cause why not? Feeling a little down, Seasonal depression, some might say. Like a lot of people is always like, oh, you need to talk to somebody. Like when you're depressed, people always tell you, oh, you need to talk to somebody, or like use coping methods. Like it's not that like easy to like talk to people sometimes. And coping methods, like they work for some people, but one thing that might work for somebody might not work for another person. So I feel like the best thing I could do right now is kind of talk to myself and talk about, how I feel right now. So, I've been friends with this guy for about 4 years now. We met on Roblox, like back in 2019, 18. I say 4 years, but that's like a long time ago. It's kind of crazy how long it was ago. And we've been friends like ever since. Like, I would say we weren't like, we were close friends. We were close friends. We used to talk daily, and if we didn't talk daily, like somebody, we always talked. If we didn't talk daily, when we did start talking again, it felt like there hadn't been any time apart. I guess you could say like it felt like we had been talking constantly, not like we had talked for like one time that week. Because I go back there on messages, I'm like, oh my gosh, we like barely talk some days, but when we did talk, it didn't feel like, oh, I haven't seen you forever. It felt like normal. So, we were good friends for a long while. And he told me he liked me, and I really didn't like him back. Not for any particular reason, not because he was a bad guy or anything. I'm not like that. I don't know. Relationships have never been easy for me. Like, I don't know. I just don't see myself in a relationship half the time. Because me personally, I feel like I'm needy. Because I am. Okay, I know my flaws. I'm very needy. So yeah. So we just stayed friends for a while. He would tell me he liked me, and I'd be like, oh, I like, because I genuinely cared for him. I genuinely cared for him. So, I'd be like, I like you too, just like that. Like, I love that we're friends. We're great friends. And that went on for a while. And there's this one night, because we would be friends. We were friends for a while, but he would like never ever open up to me or anything like that. And honestly, I was fine with that. Like, everybody's different. Everybody goes at their own pace on how they want to like present themselves. So that was fine with me. Yeah, I was frustrating that, he'd be like, oh, I'm sad. And I'd be like, well, let's talk about it. Because like I said, not everybody has the same coping mechanisms. Like, not everybody wants to talk about it. But, I would offer him that. Like, if he was sad, I'd be like, well, hey, let's talk. Because, I care and I care about him. And so I'd be like, yeah, I care about you too, just not like romantically like that. And I feel like there's a lot of like stuff going on under the surface with him. And I feel like I knew about it, but I really did know about it because, like I said, he never went to like open up to me. So one day he tells me he wants to go to the Navy, and I'm like, what? The Navy? Like, mind you, we're both 19. I'm like, you don't want to try college? The college life? And he's like, nah, Navy. And so, I supported him. Ultimately, I didn't want him to go to the Navy because I knew I would see lesser and lesser of him because I don't know how busy the Navy is, but, military, all that seems very busy. And, he's like, if he does get deployed, he's going to be out there. And, I didn't want that for him. I didn't want that life for him. So I was a little upset, but, I supported him. When he went to boot camp, I would send him letters and everything. Because, I feel like I could have sent him better letters, But I honestly didn't know what to talk about. It was, like, so weird. Like, I guess I didn't expect... it was a change for me. I guess I'm not good with change. I won't say I guess because I know I'm not good with change. Like I'm horrible at it. Change, like, it really frightens me because you never know. Like the unpredictable frightens me, but you think about it, like everything's unpredictable. Like I could die tomorrow, I wouldn't know, but I don't even know. But like I said, I still supported him. I tried my best. I'll say that. I tried my best with supporting him and, wanted to go to the Navy. I sent him letters. Like, I asked if he wanted me to send him anything, like, in particular. He'd be like, nah. So, I continued with my letters for a while. Mind you, before he left, he asked me out, and I was like, you know what? I really do like you. I'll give it a try. I was just so scared to like give it a try though, because I felt like we were just two broken people. What are these guys doing? I felt like we were just two broken people, like trying to hang on to each other, because he would tell me, he's trying to find himself in me. I'm like, that's not a good mindset. I can't help you find you in me. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like that just doesn't work. So, but I would tell him, you know what, okay, that's fine. And I couldn't be at his graduation. That's something I regret every single day. Because I just didn't have enough money. I was going through a lot. I recently moved in with my grandma, and so I had to quit my old job, and so things were just very different. Like I said, I'm not good with change. I didn't have enough money to fly down there and be with him at his graduation. I really regret that. I really wish, I would have thought ahead a little bit and been like, well, maybe I should save up some money for his graduation, because it's not like I didn't know it was going to happen. I knew he was going to be graduating. I knew, like, there was going to be a ceremony. But there's just so much stuff going on with me. I don't want to be like, oh, what about me? What about me? Because obviously I still care about you. I'm still thinking about you. But trying to do me at the same time. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I couldn't make it to his graduation, and I told him to call me, like, hey, hit me up. After graduation, we can celebrate. And this is something I think about a lot. He didn't call me that day, but I still messaged him, and I didn't call him either, because deep down, like, I want him to call me, be like, hey, me, I'm finally out. But he didn't, and I let that slide. Cause I was like, he's in the Navy. I don't know what goes on in the Navy. I really don't. I don't know what type of pressure they put them through over there or anything. If he's just happy to be out and want some time to himself. I could do that. I can give him some time. And while he was in boot camp, there would be times where I wouldn't get a single letter or phone call for like a while, and I worry a lot. There's a lot of stuff that's happened in my life where I worry, and I'm like, oh God, something bad's happened. And so, I just wanted him to, I didn't know the schedule. He never told me anything about like the Navy, and I never asked. I don't know. I just feel like he was going through such a big change. Me, trying to be like all up in his business is gonna just put more pressure on him. So I was like, you know what? You can do you on your time, okay? If you want to tell me something, you can tell me on your time. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, well, well, when are you gonna send me a letter? When am I gonna get a phone call? Maybe part of the fact that we didn't work out in the end was because I wasn't. Maybe it didn't seem like I cared enough or something like that. I don't know. But like I said, I would worry, so I would send him letters, be like, hey, I haven't like. The first time I sent him a letter was because, mind you, he had sent me a letter at this point, and I was like so happy, but he never told me how to send him a letter back. So what I did is I went out to Walmart. I begged somebody to drive me because I was scared of driving at the time. I know, right? Big old 19-year-old scared of driving. But I was scared of driving at the time, so I asked somebody to take me to Walmart because we didn't have any envelopes. Because I had the letter all written out, all fancy, and I just needed an envelope and a stamp. And my grandma thankfully gave me a stamp because we don't have those either. And I had no idea where to get them. I think I had to go to the post office, but it was late. And so the post office wasn't open. So the next day after, we went to Walmart and I bought those envelopes that I still have to this day. I got the stamp and I mailed the letter. This was my first time ever mailing a letter to him. And the reason I mailed the letter is because I was worried. I was worried that something had happened because I hadn't heard from him for a while. And maybe that's just me overthinking. Or maybe it had actually been a while. I don't know. I really don't. But I had sent him a letter because I was worried. I was like, hey, just checking up on you. Haven't got a letter or anything in a while. And so I sent him a letter, just saying, hey, just need to know you're okay. And he got the letter. Because he called me. I don't know around the time period he called me, but he did call me. Being like, hey, I got your letter. I'm like, oh, that's good, I'm glad you got my letter. And that was the first time he ever called me. And I just asked him, well, how is it? And we talked about that for a little. And it wasn't long because they really don't have long times to, talk. And again, I didn't know if there was, a schedule or anything. So every time he would call me, I'd get so excited because the first 2 times I think he called me, it was, around the same time. It was, a Sunday. And so I thought, oh, he'll call me every Sunday. Long story short, no. I didn't know the phone schedule, so it was kind of just I had to keep my phone on. But there's this one day, mind you, this was still when he was still getting adjusted. I didn't have my phone. I did have my phone, but I had been playing with my sisters the whole day, so I was on my tablet. And I had my notifications off on my tablet because sometimes I let my little sisters play on there, and I don't need them, calling people or seeing messages and trying to text that person on my tablet because they be doing too much. They like to do that. So I had it off, and I missed his call, and I was so fucking devastated. I was like, oh my god, he probably thinks I don't care. He's in this new situation. He's probably calling me, to maybe hear a familiar voice or something in this new life. And yeah, I didn't pick up. And I felt so freaking bad. I sent him another letter. But at this time, I don't remember exactly what I did, but I think the second phone call he gave me a little app to send him messages on. I mean, send him letters on, but I didn't actually have to type the letter. So I'd been using that. I was like, oh my freaking god, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to miss your call. And mind you, like I said, I'm a very worrisome person. I worry a lot about the people I care about, because, I don't know, I just do. So after that, like I said, I sent letters. I think I was one big old long letter. Hey, I'm so sorry I missed your phone call. But at first, before I sent the letter, I sent him a message because I was still texting his phone regularly, even though I know he didn't have his phone. It just felt right to text his phone and be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I didn't see your text, stuff like that. Oh my gosh. And I didn't hear a phone call or a letter for a while after that. I was thinking, oh my god, he probably hates me. Oh wow, Mia, you ignored me for so long, and then you don't pick up when I need to call you. And I don't know. I was feeling really bad about it. But then he did call me. This was a while after that. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to miss your phone call last time. Because I was sending him messages on his phone saying, you know what, yeah, I deserve this. I deserve not to get a phone call or letter or anything because, I missed the message. And when he called me, I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. You know, I didn't mean to miss that phone call. I'm gonna try and keep my phone on. And you know what I did? Every single day from then, I kept my ringer on. Like, I always had my phone on me because I didn't want to miss a phone call from him or maybe like a text message. You know, I didn't want to miss anything because I really cared about him. I really did. And in some way, I know he cared about me, but maybe it was something I did. I don't know. But how do I get up here? Okay. Yeah, I just really cared about him through his whole Navy thing. I tried to be as supportive as I could. This is very new for me. I've never had somebody that like somebody close to me go to the service, so uh, I I don't know how it can be because this is like me first experience dealing with it. So yeah, it's like somebody you care about is gonna be gone for a while. You know, can't message them, can't get in contact with them. You just gotta like send a letter and hope. So that's what I did every day. I was sending him these long letters just talking about my day. You know, I'd ask about him too. Like I said, I feel like I could have done a lot more in those letters. I was just, I don't know, I didn't like the change. I wanted it to feel like, you know, he was still here with me. I could rant to him about whatever I needed to. And, you know, maybe that was just me not understanding that, you know, not everybody needs what I need, you know. Maybe he didn't want those long letters of me talking about, you know, what I did that day, and, you know, just random thoughts that came into my head. But I would send him a letter. I would try and send him a letter, like, maybe every other day. Not every other day, that's an exaggeration. Maybe, like, 2 every week, or maybe once a week, you know, because, like I said, my letters were long. And, you know, I'd wait to get a letter back from him before I send another one sometimes, because I wanted it to feel like a conversation, you know. Send a letter, ask a question, get a letter back with an answer, you know, then I continue the conversation. So we did that for a while. And then he got out. I congratulated him that day, you know, I was like, oh my god, I'm so happy for you. Welcome back to civilization. I was so happy he was out because I felt like things were gonna go back to the way they were, you know. But they didn't. And I get that he's in. I don't even know where he was. He never told me anything. I never asked either. So maybe it's my fault too. Like I keep saying. Maybe if I would have put a little bit more effort, maybe he would have like realized that I really did care about him. That maybe I just didn't always know how to show it sometimes, but I did care. So yeah, like I said, I couldn't go to his graduation. Maybe that really like upset him. He like felt like I didn't care about him. But anyways, he started getting really distant with me. Some days like it'd go like a really long time without him messaging me, and I tell him like hey, I'd feel a lot better if you could maybe message me just a little bit more. But like I said, I didn't know how the Navy worked. He never told me anything. And then, when I finally started complaining, he was like, hey, I'm going to be in like school from this time to this time. And he's like, yeah, we do that every day. And I'm like, oh, okay, I feel like telling me that in the first place would have, been a lot easier on the both of us. Cause like, how am I supposed to know you're in school if you don't tell me anything? And yeah. So after enough of me complaining about it, I guess he finally decided, I'll tell her something. So I know that he was in school from a certain time to another certain time, and that's about it. And some days it felt like if I didn't text him first, we weren't gonna talk at all. And like, that's like, I say we were dating, but that's like one of my bestest friends right there. Like, I really did care about him. I really did. I didn't want to go all day without talking to him. Like, it got to a point where I was just so upset that it felt like I wasn't good enough. Like, everything's my fault. It's not his fault, it's my fault. I'm not trying hard enough, or, I'm overthinking it. And every time I would tell him, like, hey, I'm feeling ignored again, like, maybe I said it too much or whatnot, but I felt like it was just in one ear, out the other, so, yeah. And it got to a point where it was, like, really affecting me mentally, like, one day I'd be, oh yeah, he loves me, and then, the next day I'd be like, he loves me not. It really did feel like that. He loves me one day, oh, he loves me not. I don't know, maybe I have some type of undiagnosed, like, mental illness or whatnot, but, or maybe nothing's good enough for me, I don't know. But I did try. I look back on our experiences together, and I know that I tried. I did. I gave him my all. And that's okay if my all wasn't, good enough for him. That's okay. So I broke it off with him. But I still went to be friends, because like I said, like, that's my Pookie right there. That's my best friend. And at first I thought things would go back to normal. Like, I had literally, like I had convinced myself it would, but it didn't. And I would try and keep up a conversation with him some days, and it would like never work out. Like, it just felt like he was just so uninterested, and I was like, yeah, it's me, it's okay. And this was also affecting my mental health. Being with him was affecting it, with like not being with him was affecting it. I don't know what it was. Yeah, it probably was me. And so I broke it off, but I was just having such a hard time dealing with it, because I knew I was gonna lose him. I felt it. And I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to lose him. I'm not gonna lie. But there's not a lot I can do about it. I can only control me and my actions. Can't convince him to love me. I can't put a spell on him. Can't do any of that. But I know that I tried. I gave him all the love I could. And if that wasn't enough, that's okay. I don't hate him, but I don't blame him for anything. I just miss him. But missing him wasn't gonna help me at all. I missed him a lot. If I wasn't distracting myself with something, I was thinking about him. I wanted to like message him every single freaking moment, but I felt like I was just being a burden at that point. So today I finally blocked him on everything. Here goes me convincing myself again that, oh, this decision will make it so much better. And the unknown possibility of if it will or if it will not scares me. But if I don't try, I feel like I'll never move on. I wouldn't say he was my first love. He was first person I deeply, deeply cared about. I guess that's why I'm finding it so hard to move on. But I always miss him. I always think about him. He sent me some roses one day, some pink roses, because he knows I love pink. And they're all glittery, and they came in a box. And I think I'm looking at those roses right now. And I know he loved me. I guess I just wasn't ready. I don't know. But I'll always cherish what we had. I'll always think about it. I'll always appreciate him for all the times he made me laugh. All the times he would make me annoyed, very annoyed. I'll cherish those moments. And over time, I'll forget about them. And that's okay. Because it's a part of growing up and moving on. Forgiving and forgetting. But there's nothing to forget though. I appreciate the time we spent together. But I gotta forget about him. And I kept telling myself, he'll come back. When I broke it off with him, I was hoping, he'd try to convince me. And deep down, I knew right then and there that was gonna be the end. And I'm okay with that. I know I say it, I sound all like, oh, you're not okay, yeah. And I was truly ever okay. But I'm trying to be 100% okay. But damn it, I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss him. And it's like, is just blocking him enough? Or do I need to go through, like, everything? Like, the letters that he sent me, I still have. The flowers that he sent me, I still have. And it's like, do I need to get rid of everything to really move on? Or is, just trying to forget about him good enough? Because I say, forgive and forget. But I don't truly want to forget about him. But I don't want to remember it either. But if you did try to come in contact with me, I'd welcome him with open arms. And I feel like that's just me. It's my problem. I can't let people go. Even though I say, like, oh yeah. I move on so easily. Yeah, I move on easily. But this guy, he really, it's like he staples something to my chest. Not even stapled it, he super glued it. And I can never get it off. But I'm feeling a lot better after really having this talk with myself. Because I know nobody else is going to watch this. This YouTube channel is basically just me making videos every now and then. Because, I get the motivation to be like a YouTuber. But I don't have any, I'm not funny. I don't really have any redeeming qualities. I just like to make videos. And today's video is about how I'll miss my best friend. And I wouldn't say there's anything I regret in a relationship. But I regret saying yes to him that day. And I know it sounds like so awful, but I really do. I wish we would have just stayed friends. Because I truly do feel like we were just two broken people that were kind of hanging on to each other. But yeah, I'll miss my pookes. I think that's all I really have to say about the situation. So yeah, and I'm feeling a lot better. Kind of angry I didn't get to the top of that last stage, and I don't think I want to get to the top of this one because it's 4:14 in the morning and I probably need to go to bed, even though I don't have work tomorrow. Yay. But yeah, hope you liked my video. If you did see this, it's just me ranting. So yeah.